Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins made waves in the 2025 NFL Draft by selecting Kenneth Grant, a massive defensive tackle out of Michigan, with the 13th overall pick. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches and tipping the scales at 331 pounds. Grant is the kind of physical presence you don't see every day. He dominated at the college level, particularly against the run, anchoring Michigan's defensive front like a concrete pillar. So, on paper, this seems like a slam dunk pick for a team that's been looking to add muscle in the trenches, but not everyone is sold. In fact, Bleacher Report's Brent Sobleski has already raised the alarm, suggesting that Grant might end up being one of the first-round busts of this draft class. That's a heavy tag to put on a rookie before he even takes a snap in the NFL. So, let's unpack what's really going on with this pick and why some are skeptical. Sobleski's biggest concern isn't about Grant's talent, it's about the pick's value. Drafting a nose tackle at no. 13 is rare, and with that comes a mountain of expectations. It's one thing to take a space eater in the late first round or early second, but at 13, you're typically grabbing a game changer, someone with elite upside who can shift the dynamic of your defense from day one. The standard here is guys like Dexter Lawrence or Haloti Ngata, interior linemen, who not only absorb blockers but also collapse the pocket and disrupt the quarterback. Sobleski argues that while Grant has the physical traits, he's more of a traditional nose tackle than a modern-day disruptor. That's where the problem lies. If Grant doesn't produce flashy stats or game-breaking plays early on, fans and analysts alike could quickly turn on the pick, and in Miami, where pressure is always high, that narrative can snowball fast. Let's not forget the Dolphins' recent history with first-rounders either. They've had hits, sure, but they've also had some serious whiffs. That context matters because a team's track record with top picks affects how a new rookie is viewed. Fans are looking for an immediate return on investment, especially when it comes to a top 15 selection. With Grant, the impact might be more subtle. He's not a sack artist. He's not someone whose name will be constantly called on highlight reels. His job will often be thankless, holding his ground, taking on double teams, letting linebackers fly to the ball. That kind of contribution doesn't always show up in the box score, which can make it harder for the average viewer to appreciate his value. That disconnect between performance and perception could fuel the bust label. Even if he's actually doing his job well, still, it's not all doom and gloom. Grant showed flashes at Michigan that suggest he can be more than just a space eater. He's got surprising quickness off the snap for a man his size, and demonstrated the ability to push the pocket and get into the backfield. That upside is likely what the Dolphins were banking on when they made the pick. They probably see a guy who can develop into a full-blown interior disruptor, someone who grows into a 3-down player rather than just a rotational run stopper. But that's a long-term vision, and in today's NFL, patience is in short supply. The moment Grant gets stonewalled or ends up invisible in a big game, critics will pounce. The margin for error is razor thin, especially when you're drafted that high. Training camp is going to be crucial for Grant. It's his first real chance to silence the doubters and show the coaching staff that he can handle the physicality and speed of the NFL. If he can blow up a few plays in scrimmages or earn praise from veteran linemen, the narrative can shift quickly. Miami's coaching staff will likely put him in situations to build confidence early, maybe even give him some favorable matchups in preseason games. But the truth is, the scrutiny won't go away until he starts making an impact in regular season games. Until then, every rep, every missed tackle, every play he doesn't dominate will be put under the microscope. That's the reality of being a high pick at a low glamour position. And let's talk about scheme fit for a second. Miami's defensive system under new coordinator Anthony Weaver is expected to be aggressive, with an emphasis on penetrating the line of scrimmage and generating interior pressure. That's not exactly Grant's wheelhouse, at least not yet. He's been more of a two-gap, hold-your-ground type of tackle, which might clash with what the Dolphins want to do up front. That doesn't mean he can't adapt, but it adds another layer of complexity to his rookie season. Scheme transitions are tricky even for seasoned vets. For a rookie like Grant, it could slow down his development or limit his effectiveness early on. If he doesn't look comfortable or productive in that role, the calls of bust will only get louder even if the issue isn't entirely his fault. Let's be real here. Calling a rookie a potential bust before he's even played it down is harsh, but that's the NFL machine. Analysis moves fast and labels stick. Grant now has to carry not just the expectations of being a first-round pick, but the weight of proving his doubters wrong. Some players thrive under that pressure. Others crumble. Grant's mindset is going to matter just as much as his skill set. If he can stay focused, block out the noise, and lean on the veteran leadership around him, he has a shot to flip the script. But if he lets the talk get in his head or tries to do too much too soon, things could spiral. It's a mental battle as much as a physical one, and we'll start to see how he handles it when camp begins, of course. This situation also speaks to the larger conversation about positional value in the draft. In today's game, premium picks are usually spent on quarterbacks, edge rushers, tackles, and wide receivers, positions that directly influence the scoreboard. A nose tackle, even an elite one, doesn't always have that kind of tangible impact. That's not to say they aren't important, but teams need to be absolutely sure they're getting a generational player to justify using a top 15 pick on one. Grant might be very good. He might even be great, but unless he becomes dominant and does it quickly, the narrative will continue to question whether Miami made the right move. It's a gamble, and right now, analysts like Sobleski are betting against it paying off. But hey, let's not forget that every year there are rookies who defy expectations, guys who were doubted, who were labeled as reaches or system misfits, and who went on to become stars. Grant could absolutely be one of those stories. He's got the size, the strength, and flashes of talent that suggest something special might be there. And let's not pretend the Dolphins don't know what they're doing. They've built a tough, fast, physical defense, and they clearly saw something in Grant that they believe will elevate that unit. If he can find his rhythm, adapt to the system, and show some disruptive flashes early on, he could turn this narrative on its head by midseason. It's all still to be written. So now, all eyes are on Kenneth Grant. Every snap in training camp, every moment in preseason, and every down in the regular season will be part of his audition, not just for the Dolphins, but for every analyst and fan waiting to say "I told you so" or "I was wrong." The bus label is premature, but the microscope is real. He's walking into one of the most pressure-filled situations a rookie can face: a high pick, a low-glory position, and high expectations in a city that's desperate for playoff success. Will Kenneth Grant rise to the occasion and prove the critics wrong, or will he become another cautionary tale in draft history? Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. Ladies and gentlemen, something big might be brewing down in Miami. Early this morning, sources close to the situation started buzzing with one major headline. RASUL Douglas has reportedly been spotted entering the Dolphins training facility in what insiders are calling a very quiet arrival. No press conference, no grand entrance, just RASUL, some entourage, and a lot of whispers. Now, this might not be your typical off-season move, but let's be honest, this is the kind of low-key action that sometimes hints at something major. And here's where it gets spicy. Multiple reports are suggesting he's not just visiting. He might be there to sign a 4-year deal. Yes, you heard that right, for years. If that's true, the Dolphins could be gearing up to make a real defensive statement heading into the new season. Let's unpack this, because if it's even partially true, the AFC East might be about to get shaken up in a big way. Now, before we go any further, let's take a step back and talk about RASUL Douglas. This guy isn't just a fill-in cornerback you bring in for depth, he's a game changer. Ever since his breakout performances in Green Bay, RASUL's been known for one thing: clutch. Whether it's picking off quarterbacks late in the game or locking down WR1 South when it matters most, Douglas brings the kind of edge that championship defenses are built on. The Dolphins, who already have a solid defensive roster, could be looking at RASUL as the final piece of their secondary puzzle. Imagine a fully healthy Jalen Ramsey on one side, RASUL Douglas on the other, and Jevon Holland lurking at safety. That's a nightmare for opposing QBs. If this deal goes through, Miami might quietly be constructing one of the nastiest secondaries in the league. But hold on, why would RASUL choose the Dolphins? It's a fair question. After all, there are several teams in need of elite cornerback help. What makes Miami the destination? Well, word around the league is that RASUL is looking for the key things: stability and a real shot at a ring. With Mike McDaniel at the helm and a young, explosive core, the Dolphins are starting to look like real contenders. And don't forget, Miami has been aggressive in recent off-seasons, bringing in stars, building fast, and pushing hard in a competitive division. Maybe RASUL sees what we're all starting to notice: The Dolphins aren't just trying to make the playoffs, they're trying to win the whole thing. And a 4-year commitment, that suggests he's all in for the ride. But let's talk money, because this kind of move doesn't happen without serious financial planning. Although no contract details have been leaked yet, insiders estimate that the deal could be worth anywhere between $40 to $50 million, depending on bonuses and guarantees. That would make RASUL one of the highest paid defensive backs on the roster. But it's a price Miami may be willing to pay, especially when you consider how much they leaned on their defense last season and how close they came to pulling off something special. Investing in a veteran like Douglas isn't just about skill, it's about leadership. He brings a locker room presence, playoff experience, and that fearless confidence you need when you're facing Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, or even Patrick Mahomes in crunch time. Of course, this wouldn't be the first time a big-name defender makes a surprising off-season shift. We've seen it before. Guys land in unexpected cities and suddenly unlock the next level of their game. Could Miami be that place for RASUL Douglas? Don't forget, South Florida offers more than just nice weather. It's a thriving football culture, a rejuvenated fan base, and a defense-first mindset under new DC Anthony Weaver. The Dolphins may have quietly convinced RASUL that this is the best place for him to elevate, to lead, and to chase a championship. And maybe, just maybe, Miami's pitch wasn't about money or stats but legacy. Now, there are still some unanswered questions. For one, what does this mean for the rest of the cornerback room? There's talk that a move like this could signal a shift in defensive philosophy, maybe more man coverage, more press schemes, more aggressive blitz packages. RASUL thrives in those situations, and pairing him with a healthy Ramsey could allow the Dolphins to unleash a more chaotic, turnover-heavy approach. That's the kind of football Miami fans love: fast, physical, and punishing. But there's also the question of fit. RASUL is a smart, instinctive player. But how quickly can he adapt to a new playbook, a new locker room, a new city? That transition isn't always easy, but if the deal is real, it means Miami believes he's the right man for the job. Meanwhile, fans have already started reacting. Social media lit up the moment the first images of RASUL entering the facility hit the net. Dolphins Twitter is buzzing, with some celebrating what they believe is the start of a Super Bowl run, and others cautiously waiting for official confirmation. The vibe is electric. You can feel it, something big is coming. And even if this deal isn't officially done yet, the signs are all pointing in one direction. For years, a defensive cornerstone, a statement to the league that the Dolphins are not playing around. And remember, moves like this, they don't leak unless someone wants them to. Maybe this is just the first domino in an even bigger plan. Let's not forget the timing here either. With training camp around the corner, the Dolphins wouldn't be bringing in a veteran of RASUL's caliber unless they were serious about integrating him now, not later. Now, that means game plans are shifting, depth charts are adjusting, and the defensive staff is likely already sketching out new formations. RASUL Douglas isn't a wait-and-see kind of player, he's a plug-and-play asset. So, if this deal is confirmed soon, expect the Dolphins to hit the ground running. And maybe this is just one piece in a bigger jigsaw puzzle that ends with Miami lifting the Lombardi. Could this finally be their year? At the end of the day, this move, whether confirmed or still in the rumor stage, speaks volumes about where the Dolphins are mentally. They're not satisfied with good enough. They're hunting greatness. And if RASUL Douglas truly is signing for years, it means he sees that potential too. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. Until it's official, it's just a rumor. But it's a loud one, and in the NFL, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!